Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude BeyondMystic, and welcome to this Sunday night special edition of the Wacky Woo with my friends, of course, Mr. JSNIP4. You can find him at JSNIP42 here on YouTube. You can also find the amazing Richard, the woo-woo dude, at woowoodude.com. And finally, the lovely and talented Penny Kelly. You can find her at consciousnessonfire.com. Welcome, everyone. Glad to see you here. We have a lot to talk about.
It's good to be here.
Welcome, my friends.
Should be fun.
Welcome. It should be fun. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here tonight on this live interactive show. We'll try to take some of your questions as we go along, but we have a lot of ideas, details, events, forecasts that are seeming to be lining up for you this evening. And we thought perhaps before July 4th, it would be important to get all of this on the record for you guys and to have this lovely conversation. Joe, I wanted to start with you. Last couple of days, you put out a video on your YouTube channel. Let me see if I can bring it up for the audience here to go see it. The title was Get Ready. Now, of course, you're talking about one of your insiders that had been for a long time providing you intel. Explain that to the audience, why suddenly now there's a resurgence of this particular insider and what you think that means about Get Ready.
Well, I wish he would have told me, here's why I'm back. But the thing is, this guy hasn't talked to me in many, many, many months. And the last thing he told me was, put your mic on mute. I think it's yours.
Echo.
Yeah. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, we're good. Yeah, so he gave me some info and said Melania Trump's wife, is going to address the nation, and the topic is going to be healing. Can't tell you when, can't tell you anything more, but that is something I can tell you. I go, okay. So we waited months, and she'd have a little speech here and there about something, and, oh, Joe, is that it? I go, no, it's not. And then I would say something about it, and he would go, he sent me a message one time. He goes, Joe, it's not a speech. She will address the nation. And I go, okay, he's making that very clear. Okay, so we had the election. We saw, Biden win. Some of us were thinking, he's not going to walk into the office by the end of January. They're going to get him and this and that, and nothing happened. And everyone's waiting, holding their breath. And then all of a sudden, we have the January 6th thing. And Melania Trump comes out. The nation needs to heal. She's addressing everybody. Violence isn't the answer, blah, blah, whatever. And of course, we know the feds were behind that, but that was the speech. So we're all sitting here like, oh my God, mind blown. So that means he or this group, whoever they are, because he's told me it's an us, not just a me, knew the outcome was going to be just that. So they knew it. Why else would he know the speech about, or this addressing the nation of healing is coming? Way in advance. This is before the election even took place. He's telling me this. So that's when I go, oh my God, it's all a show. It's all a big thing. And it's just going to wake people up while, Biden's in charge. So he comes out recently and messages me directly. And I'll put
Joe, hold on just a second. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Hold on just a second. I'm getting reports on my other feeds that there's still some echo. So let me just ping the audience members here. Are you guys hearing Joe okay? Or is that a residual from when we started the show? Please give me a 5x5 if you guys can hear Joe okay here before we continue. We did have a few mic issues here just before we went live. So I'm looking to see a 5x5 in the chat here just to make sure. Okay, so I'm getting the 5x5s. Okay, so I think that's resolved. It was probably just older texts. Okay, so Joe, Go ahead now with the update from your insider. Go ahead, and I'll mute my mic again here. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, so he sends me, a certain post of a certain message board from a long time ago. And it says, be ready. And then he goes on to send me a Newsweek article about that same entity that said be ready all those months and years ago is back alive and posting again. You know who I'm talking about. And he posts, remember your oath. So then he physically types a message to me, be ready Delta, which is what we're talking about. So if it's a be ready Delta, the date was June 27, 2019. So June 27 essentially, I guess, tells me that's the start. So we've already passed that. We're a few days into the next month. Telegram not secure. All alternative direct messages compromised since 2021. Keep up the good fight. In Pelosi, not what you think, we will win. Couldn't elaborate. So I take this and I go, we may be about to experience something that looks bad. We all take a big punch to the gut, like that Wano Saban guy keeps talking about is coming. There's some kind of gut punch maybe that comes, and it has something to do with Pelosi. And whatever it is, it's not what we think, and we will win. Now, he might simply be talking, by the way, about something that Entheos had posted on the new Truth Social site. So Entheos was a guy who was an insider, posted all kinds of shit, got kicked off of all the platforms, and then all of a sudden came alive as of last Monday, I think, this past week, on Truth Social, and started posting stuff again. And posted in 2017, he said, Entheos, in 2022, Roe v. Wade gets overturned by Trump and the Patriots or something. And he's reposting it. There it is. Bam. Like, you kidding me? So this is interesting stuff. So maybe, because we heard about Paul Pelosi and his drunk driving thing, and same Entheos recently posted, what was Paul Pelosi doing that preceded the drunk driving? Nobody has a clue. Nobody knows. It's just speculation. But he made an important note to say that. What was Paul Pelosi doing preceding him drunk driving episode he got caught on? And God only knows. Could be something with kids. Could be something, there's no telling. But he kept saying Monday. Entheos was saying Monday. Well, that's the 4th of July. And the other guy that I follow, which is, where's he at? Got it. I'm just looking for it right here. Ezra. False flag warning, 4th of July. This is the guy that keeps saying stuff like this, and then something happens. He also posted a while back, a foreign attack is coming, a new 9/11 type of event. However, he just posted a picture of a building on fire, a skyscraper. I'm not sure where this is. Maybe this is happening right now because he just posted this a little while ago at 6:22 p.m. And the top of a building is smoking. I don't know what city this is. And he said, referring to what he said before about the false flag attack thing, they failed. And he has this picture of this little smoking building, but it looks like a very minor thing. So anyways, shit's already happening. This is something he just posted right now. I'm assuming this happened somewhere right now. It's a tall building. People are staring at it. He's got a picture, just a quick 5 or 6 second clip of it. And let me see if I can just put this on the screen real quick. I'll just use my software.
People were saying it was Moscow.
This one here?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, so whatever it is, he's saying it's failed. So, I mean, there's already stuff's already popping off. But he still gave the warning about false flag warning for July 4th. That hasn't been retracted. And this guy posts something and it comes to fruition. So now that Entheos is posting, my insider sends me some messages. It's like, okay, stuff's about to go down. My curiosity is another thing that Entheos said. Something along the lines of pray for salvation for Nancy and her Pelosi and her husband. And then once again, Monday. So that's the July 4th, because he posted this after last Monday. Therefore, it has to be this Monday. And he keeps referring to that. So something's going on with this Monday, July 4th. And we don't know what exactly. Is it going to be a big patriot takedown of some deep state stuff? Or are we going to get surprised and Trump's arrested? And, just the story, keeps continuing. I don't know. And I haven't got any downloads or anything on it either. So it's going to be really interesting.
Very good. Well, thank you for that. That sets the stage as to why also we wanted to do this show earlier than later and why we're all out here on the Sunday night. Let me do a quick turn of the panel here while you're up there. Richard, let me bring you up on the screen here. What do you make of this, first of all, the get ready? Now, you've been saying this, of course, to the audience members for quite some time to get ready, not just physically, but also mentally and spiritually. But what do you make of these last posts and the fact that this particular letter of the alphabet started tweet again? Are we into now perhaps a new phase of the war, Richard?
Nah, it's all coincidental.
I don't believe that.
How do I want to say this? Okay, Independence Day is in a few hours, right? Interesting. What I really think is Independence Day is going to be moved to another location, that we're about to see something. Remember last time we talked that I said NATO is going to be splintered, right? So I really believe that we're about to see a really big thing that will happen, I think, within 24 hours, but I think it's going to happen. Things will happen here, but I think we're going to see it with Russia, and we're going to see it with Ukraine and a few others. So the splintering begins. Now they're saying, watch the smoke over the troubled waters. It's like, really? Okay. So I think we're about to see something occurring here. You know, everybody should be ready now. There's so many black swans, it's ridiculous. So, you know what? Right now, like you, JC, you went out to the lake, you enjoyed yourself, is start enjoying every minute of the time right now. We're all going to go through this. 90% of the people listen to this are psychic. They really are. And they all feel it. It's happening. Everything you're coming forward with is going to happen. Do you remember, Joe, when I told you, all right, now I want to say this so you don't get in trouble, that Nancy, you know, my favorite.
Oh.
Nancy, I said she had till January the 1st to step down. And if she did not, it would start with her children. It would then go to her husband, and then it would go to her. Did it go to the children?
Yep.
Okay, went to the husband.
Before. Yep.
And now it goes to her. All right. So you're going to see a crumbling going on there. But remember, everything with this 2-2 parable, it's a snowball effect. So whatever you see and you go, well, that's not really a big thing because nothing ever happens. Well, this is going to balloon. All right. And here we are in the middle of July, and we're talking about snowstorms. Okay. This is really going to take place. And it's called just hang on. I mean, it's all happening.
Hang on for dear life. That sounds a lot like HODL. We'll get into the crypto. We'll get into the crypto talk in a few moments here. Penny, let me bring you up. Richard just mentioned something about the theater of war. Before I do that, he mentioned I went out to the lake, and yes, I was fighting those ugly monsters at the lake. So I did this crazy poster. This was one of the. I forget where it was, but anyways, it's a tourist attraction now. I thought I'd bring that in for you guys just for the fun of it. But yeah, what Richard was saying here in the news earlier today or yesterday in mainstream news now, we're showing more and more of what you were alluding to, Penny, 2 months ago, that perhaps by July this would be all over. And even last week, there were reports about the mainstream media getting the population ready for the narrative change in this neck of the woods. And you were saying that perhaps it would be over by July. How does that tie in here, as Richard was talking about the fallacy of the NATO supremacy, how the whole world structure and order right now is crumbling because this narrative does not match what we're being told right now, and we're coming to a head right now, Penny?
Yeah. So there's a couple of things I would say. When I was watching Russia form that cauldron, it's a shape in which they entrap group of people that they're fighting against. It was like, there's no way that those Ukrainians are going to get out of that. And once that peace is done, once Lysychansk is gone, is under Russian control, they had a couple other spots that they were targeting, but they were really in a place where they pretty much have the final say. So I have been expecting to hear something, even though there's been a lot of protest and we're not gonna let those Russians win, etc. I don't think that holds any water. And I think it's going to be a very public embarrassment, if I could say that, in terms of the fact that the U.S. loses, and we are the ones fighting. It's not Ukraine. And I don't know how much people know or even want to hear about what Ukraine was planned to be and who was planning to take over that country and rule the world, because that country was always considered to be the heart and soul of the planet, whether people know that or not, even though the U.S. thought they were. Ukraine has always been that location. Whoever owned or had Ukraine typically had a lot of resources, a lot of power, a lot of position. They're in the right place, et cetera, et cetera. So that's one thing I would say. I'm not surprised. I mean, I knew when I saw yesterday, I follow a guy who's really pretty good. He's from Russia, and he was covering, where are the Russians at now? And it's like, Ukraine is toast. And we have sent all kinds of money over there. Where did that money go? We're sending all kinds of old weaponry over there, and the Russians blow it up before it even comes into service. So, so the thing that caught my ear, there were two things that caught my ear in what Joe was reading. One was the word salvation for Nancy's life. And that does not sound very promising. It doesn't sound like there's a long future there. And that matches some other things that I have seen that I really don't like to talk about. But people are being taken out. And so the piece that I'm like, okay, why would that be a gut punch? I don't know. That doesn't match my idea of a gut punch. And so it's unless that is, unless there's a play and somebody else makes a counter play that looks bad, somebody else whose name starts with R and ends with SIA, and gets blamed for that, gets blamed for the fact that Nancy is missing or is on her, is on her way to somewhere else. So that whole thing is a possibility. And the last thing I would say is that in the last week, 2 or 3 times, what has come up is this vision of the Washington, D.C.'s White House and that whole grounds that was fenced off. And I had a picture of that first time. It's like, oh, yeah, there's Washington, D.C. Next time it's like, oh, there's Washington, D.C. again. The third time it came up, I thought, why am I seeing that again? And as soon as I asked that question, it was like, boom, somebody blew that up. And there was a voice that said, this is why it was walled off. So I was left to kind of ponder that. There wasn't a sense of time or timing. So I'm not sure what that may be about, but it was a huge, it was like the whole emotional psyche of the American population just went, meow. And everybody felt like we had maybe been conquered, which that isn't where the White House really is. That isn't where the center of operations is, and it hasn't been since Biden came into office. And so speculation, total speculation, but why would I see that picture 2 or 3 times? So, and then get this picture of boom. So I'm not sure, how to put all those pieces together, but I think if we just watch, like Richard says, we're in it, keep your spirits up, look beyond the trouble. We have to build a new community. We have to build a new sense of who we are. So.
Okay.
Well, I want to add something I should have added before.
Okay.
That I just came up. That's kind of important.
Okay.
You want me to say it now?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, okay. So I was talking about, the old posts of the board and this guy, Entheos, coming back online, my insider coming out to me all of a sudden, Monday, everybody's Monday, all this stuff. If you follow Kash Patel on Truth Social, who was one of the guys in the big government,
yeah,
that was a good guy. And he's been exposing what's been happening. He's very vocal about it.
Yeah.
He, as of the last maybe 2 days, has been posting the following words within something he's saying: wizards and warlocks, which is a direct post of that sacred message board.
Yeah.
That guy is saying that. You know the message board that's been banned from
The
existence.
alphabet message board.
That guy is posting those words.
Okay, that's very interesting, Joe. And while I have you here, I wanted to bring up also in the last couple of days, you made this video, and a lot of people were asking me also what I was thinking about this. Penny was just talking about moves and counter moves. Now we're talking about Pelosi and family, but a lot of people are worried about this guy here, and that he might, in fact, be the first one to be arrested. Joe, explain a scenario where that could be and why that is, and let's tie it all in together here in this coup, counter-coup movement we're seeing. Go ahead.
So that would be the gut punch that I could see happening. This guy, Juan O'Saven, says a gut punch is coming. You got to be prepared for it. I can't tell you what it is. I can't even hint about it. It's going to feel like we've been defeated. It's going to feel like there's no hope. It's going to feel like it's the end of America. And then at the last second, we get it back and we win. He goes, basically, in so many words, that's what he said. And everyone would try to get it out of him. Months would go by. Yep, can't say anything else, So my thought was, and I was doing something in my house the other day. I think I just got done bringing that helicopter to get the annual or whatever. And I was coming back, like undoing, just getting the trailer put back in the backyard. And this thought just pops in. The first arrest, on that same message board mentioned like it would be shocking. The very first arrest would be shocking to people. And we're thinking, oh, is it going to be Hillary? Is it going to be her? Oh, no. What if it's Trump? Again, if my guy can tell me Melania Trump's going to give a speech about healing, and not a speech, addressing the nation, and I would say speech, and he'd correct me, hey, Joe, I heard you say that tonight. It's an addressing of the nation. Okay. And then we see the shit show of an election. Biden's coming into office. There's a supposed riot, and she needs to give a speech based on that. So again, whoa, how did he know that in advance? So the gut punch makes sense to me because if things have to happen where bad players do have to get taken down and arrested and whatnot, let's say, and I'm talking top level people, you can't have Trump anywhere near the even slight possibility that he somehow could make he's running the government behind the scenes. The leftists might start thinking that all of a sudden. Oh, maybe it's Trump and the right wing. Well, no, he's in jail. Trump's in jail. You guys arrested him because of the January 6th sham nonsense. They found a way to arrest him, even though this isn't even a real trial. There's no judge. There's no counter, witness, whatever. You counter, when you question them, the other side gets to question them. But nonetheless, the DOJ could go, oh yeah, we're gonna go get Trump. So he's whisked away, and here's my thing, to a safe location while the chaos ensues. Trump's gone, the country's fallen, and then at the last minute, not quite, here comes the U.S. military, and okay, Trump, come on out, later. And it's just a scenario. I've not got a dream on this. I will say this. I did get a dream not too long ago, quite recently, I was at a private, like, Trump meeting, and, you know, a little gathering. It was a small area room, but it was for private, you know, not anybody could just come. And I was there, and he's taking the podium. He starts to speak, and I don't even know if he said it or I just got the information in a dream. Like, the information was just there as soon as I saw him. My fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. Again, one of these famous quotes, just like wizards and warlocks things. And I go, oh my gosh, it's getting close.
Yeah.
But the one other insider, Tori, who Entheos told us, follow that girl. So I knew if he said that, she knows stuff. She has hinted a couple of times. Wouldn't it be funny if Joe Biden, who is the president, gives the speech? Because the message board said the president will give, or it actually didn't even say that even. It just said, look to this on Twitter, exactly these words. And Trump says, I'm never going back to Twitter. I'm not coming back. It's over.
Okay.
So that means somebody else has to say this on Twitter. My fellow Americans, in that particular sentence, who in government would use a word like that? Probably the president, because that's a presidential word, you know, a sentence that they've used. My fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. So that could happen by Joe Biden saying it. Like, this would just make the left's head explode. But anyways, that's kind of my scenario.
It would make sense also because when Biden was out saying, hey, it was going to be a dark winter, he meant for them as the administration. They knew they were in deep trouble. It wasn't meant for us specifically. So you have a point there. I wanted to bring up Richard here. And Richard, I'm just going to unmute you. You were cracking up a little bit, your microphone there for a second. What do you make of this idea that perhaps Mr. T would be the first arrest in the series here of dominoes falling out, and perhaps why they would do so in order to be able to let him finally put evidence on the DOJ record books, so to speak, which so far he's not been able to do. What do you make of all of this?
Well, I really believe there's a large group of people that will protect him. Absolutely. Our buddy Joe, not Snippy, the other Joe, okay, he's going to be leaving very, very abruptly, very quick. But I think the gut punch we're about to see, my gut is that it's going to start to occur tonight or tomorrow. And I really believe the gut punch is we're all looking at our economy, and we're looking at the fuel, we're looking at everything, and we're thinking, can it get worse? Okay, the gut punch is, I believe it's really about to get worse. And I really, you know, when they just showed me smoke over troubled waters, I really believe that it's going to happen tonight or tomorrow. And I really believe that's going to, do you remember how I said that what happens in Europe will then come this way like a tidal wave? And I believe it's going to a lot quicker than what we've seen over the last 6 months. That, and I think it's amazing on Independence Day, but there's a greater meaning to this, not just to America, but to the world, of something that we're about to see. And I do. I believe Joe's going to be swept really quickly because of something that's about to happen. I'm trying not to say last names the best I can do. Okay.
Right. No, I appreciate that. And I'll leave you with this. And Richard, you're leading us into the new segment here, the next segment here for the economy. But I wanted to bring up this quote here from Mr. T. Someday I'd like to maybe lose everything for a period of time to see who's loyal and who's not. Isn't that what's been happening, perhaps, for the last little while? And they're taking account of all of this. At some point, this suggests also that it comes to an end. So, Joe, let me bring you up here also. You and I talk to Cliff quite often there in chat. And he had something to say that was very interesting the last couple of days, and I wanted to bring that up for the conversation here tonight. Let me first give the man credit here by bringing up his BitChute channel also. Guys, you might want to go watch, I believe it's this one here. Hold on. He's standing in front of the fence in the video where he mentions what I'm about to talk about here. Hold on. I think it's this one. Yes. In this particular video here, he's talking about events that are going to transpire in July, setting us up for the end of year. This sounds a lot like the series of events that Penny Kelly was suggesting could happen from here to the end of the year in order to have that big change in January, February, and March of 2023. So guys, do go check that out. That's Explorer's Guide to Sci-Fi World. BitChute.com/Cliff High is his channel. Now, Joe, let me bring up the conversation here. I've taken 3 or 4 of the comments from our chat, and I'm going to ask you to read that out loud here, because what he was suggesting is that we had 4 more weeks, more or less, and he boldened less. So perhaps less than 4 weeks. So let's start here. Joe, can you read that on the screen for the audience members? And guys, I'll bring the link down for you guys as well, but you can do a snapshot here and read that for yourself also. So Joe, if you want to start up here on July 1st.
Yeah, so it says, so we may be expecting 4 more weeks, more or less, of stagflation until the Fed implosion that will free up the prices of metals and cryptos. It will do it Argentina style. Ready? So that is 4 weeks or less to get your XRP wealth extracted. Remember, XRP only has one customer, that is international banks. And in 4 weeks, the international banking system will implode from the EU outward. This will freak and wreck the Fed and the dollar. 4 short weeks or less. So I'm going to interject at this point. Now, of course, I wrote in response there, I think we crash big in July. All my orders, crypto orders, fill. Then we wait for Uber wealth. I don't agree that XRP, you've got 4 weeks to get your wealth out of XRP.
Okay, hold on just a sec. Joe, hold on just a sec. We'll get into the XRP conversation, but I just want to separate that for the audience members who might be confused here. Let's just finish this train of thought of what's happening in July, and we'll have the specific XRP conversation as well.
All right, so I said, again, my orders will fill, blah, blah, blah. Then he says, well, that would fit time-wise. Summer crashes are not like financial events we have experienced in our lives so far. Summer crashes are not controlled events like the boom-bust cycle. Summer crashes are system-ending events. I just put in another $1,100 of meat into freezers, and we'll do more in 2 weeks. Probably not enough. And by the way, I have a dream on that I'll talk about in a minute. How long do you think to wait? If the banks crash starting in the EU and we get a 1929 kind of global event, the banks won't be coming back. Credit unions may survive for a while. I'm hoping my local regional bank survives no security at all, or surety at all. We got, that's you speaking, we got a big event at the end of July, 4th week in the Astro Woo forecast.
So, sorry about that. Okay, so that's good here for July 13, because in Cliff High's video, he was talking about mid-July here, something happening in global consciousness. And I agree with that. Again, going back to this slide here, because, where did you go? This one here. On July 13th here for this Capricorn full moon, what we were forecasting on that Astro Woo was that the mainstream media could no longer hide the systemic failures that are happening around the world. So people would start to wake up en masse to the fact that they're lying, they're spinning their heads off. You just saw CNN is burning. The new CEO is not able to stop the leakage of their viewership right now. So that seems to be happening right now, but apparently a crescendo mid-July. And then on the 28th here, we were looking at perhaps some, if not most, of the banks being in a systemic failure here, and this beginning of this new trend towards decentralization and rebel energy. These are, of course, the energies of Aquarius that are the age of Aquarius that are pushing us forward here. So, okay, so Joe, first off, let's go back to the question of XRP for a moment. We'll take a quick sideline on that one, and then we'll get Richard and Penny to talk about these next 4 weeks and what they see as well. So quickly, Joe, what's your opinion on XRP, on the fact that they might not necessarily die, or it might not necessarily die as the main banks are dying? Why are you saying that, Joe?
Yeah, so I do think, again, I didn't get a dream on this, but I just feel like July could be the month where we get the final drop in crypto and other markets. I mean, you've already seen silver is under $20, and I got single-digit silver is coming. Maybe temporarily, but it's coming. Yeah. And I think the same thing's going to happen with XRP and all the cryptos. So we have this big dump, Again, all the orders I've got waiting, I'm talking on Patreon, they fill, and then we sit and wait. I just say there's no way that my spirit guides and woo dude in his guides showed us XRP, my one dream. It's the only coin I wanted. I didn't give a shit about anything else. Just give me freaking XRP at 20 cents. That's all I want. And I was panicking, like the panic to own crypto Cliff talked about. I was panicking in the dream, about to just do a huge buy order. I didn't even know if I had enough money in the bank. I didn't care. I was just about to press it. I go, well, slow down, dude. Look at your freaking bank account before you just do something stupid. That's a lot of money. Just wait. Go look at your damn bank account. I went to switch the app. Oh my God, it dropped another penny. Hurry up. It's a freaking penny lower, you know? And like, so then I wake up. But I think everything will be affected. So we dump. And I don't think we're going to have 4 weeks to extract your wealth out per se. Now, technically, if it's 30 cents right now and we're going down to 20, yeah, you could extract it now if you want to extract it now at 30 cents. My whole thing is I want to catch it back at 20 and buy back in and then wait, because I know we're going to have a bit of waiting period, but I just do not see, I'm in complete defiance of Master Wu Webbot Cliff on that, the way that's going to look, you know. And again, if I didn't have these dreams and woo dude, like especially because that guy's told me shit when it comes to crypto and they show him something, it's fucking written in stone. Like, just forget about it, you know. And then I get stuff in my dream and I'm going, there's no way it's not going to happen. So I just
and you also have to add something to that, Joe. Your insider here way back when you had asked him about crypto, he said 2 coins in particular. Remind the audience here of what that
he told me, the same one who just reached out recently to say, hey, get ready and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. I'd asked him, I was like, dude, you just made some incredible stuff, you know, stories and things you've said that have panned out. I go, we want to kind of help you. I'd like to, at least. Now maybe I'll ask people if they want to help. I want to give you some crypto or something. I just want to throw you a little bonus, man. He goes, no, we've been well prepared way in advance. We got Bitcoin way long time ago. So when he said that to me, I go, well, that son of a bitch knew again something. Mm-hmm. Why would he know that shit? Way before someone like, you know, me and, you know, a lot of us other guys. Like, I'm a tech guy. I should have known about that before everybody else. But, you know, so they knew. So I asked him, do you know stuff about crypto? Like, you know, is there any crypto picks you could advise me of? He goes, there's 3, but really 2. Bitcoin, XRP. He goes, there was a third one, which I don't remember right now. I'd have to go back and figure out what it was. It was just some off coin. He goes, that's just that wasn't the official information. He's like, just take a chance on that if you want, but it's these 2. Right. Bitcoin and freaking XRP.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, I want to remind the audience here, I'm going to ask Richard and Penny also to chime in, but he's saying here 4 weeks, more or less, emphasize on the less, until the Fed implosion that will free up prices of metals and cryptos. This is suggesting that once this starts to blow, that these things that are being suppressed right now and also depressed right now by margin calls and whatever you want to talk about, the fact that we're exposing Tether for the fraud that it is, eventually here we're going to see an upshot in everything else that is not bolted to the floor. So that's what we're talking about. Guys, if you wanted to get in here before that panic to own is about to set in here, perhaps in the next couple of weeks, and you haven't done so already, please consider taking the crypto crash course here. It'll get you from A to Z how to set up your wallet, your exchange, make your first purchase, as well as to transfer that in your own possession. And we're seeing now a bunch of hedge funds and exchanges go down here in the last couple of months. And that old adage of Joe saying, do not leave your coins on anybody's exchanges, keep them in your own possession, is absolutely true, even more today than back then. So Richard,
and you can't get XRP, right? You can't get XRP right now anywhere in America. Mm-hmm. So we do talk about ways to get things like XRP in some of these videos, and using wallets, and you can do swaps and open up exchange accounts with a private VPN and get the shit done. You do not want to be doing this when it's go time. Exactly. You have to have your account set up. You have to have everything set up and ready so that you aren't some jabroni panicking, emailing me, emailing Cliff, emailing Bix, emailing JC. What do I do? What do I do? Joe, help me. I'm not even going to reply. Delete. Love you. I don't have time for this nonsense. I've been telling you for months.
Years in the making. So guys, okay, a crypto crash course, a panic to own. Richard, this idea of this 4 week, more or less, how does that fit in with some of your messages from Spirit, the 222 parable, and also all of your visions with silver being $50,000 per tube, and the crazy prices you're seeing also for crypto, including XRP? Richard?
Well, the silver, I'll start with that. And the first level I saw was 10,000. The next one was 30,000. Then the last one was 50, where they said that we would not be able to own it at that time. Now I want to back the ship up about XRP. See, I think a lot of people, wait a second. All right, I'll say that. You know, they don't want Americans to own XRP. So let's make it very difficult for them. Oh, that's a hell of a coincidence. Okay, now that I got that out of my chest. XRP is going to be used far beyond the banking system because everything we know is going to evolve. And so things are going to be done differently. And they're going to need a mechanism to move wealth around the world in a different manner. XRP is not going to be used for what we think the banking of moving dollars. That last vision where I never ask to give me visions on anything that's material. I just don't. But I did this time. And that's when they showed me a bridge. All right. Now I brought this up many times. And there were all types of people going back and forth across this bridge, and the bridge was huge. It went from one continent to the other. Tall people, small people, people from all over the world. All right. So when you put discernment into that, that's just telling me it's going to be used for a lot of different things, far beyond what we would recognize as strictly the banking system. It's going to be used in this new thing. Now, with Cliff talking about over the next 4 weeks, abso-freaking-lutely. Why do you think I'm saying tonight something's happening? And watch what happens, okay, over by the Russian-Ukraine, going through Europe, and it's going to shock the shit out of everybody. And I really believe that's a big, big gut punch, but it's not one gut punch. There's going to be a lot of them that are going to overwhelm people like a tidal wave, because it's like when I gave a warning about fuel to fill up every night, it's not that we couldn't get it, but it was like it was going to go up every day. Well, it happened within 3 weeks. I said it's going to $10. You guys are so excited about getting it for $4.86, aren't you? Okay. Well, how do you think America's going to feel when they go, oh, shit? Okay. And Canada. All right. I mean, this is going to be devastating. All right. But this is, for the last day, I've been laughing as I've been driving down the road and Spirit talks to me. And they keep showing me, in God we trust. In God we trust. And I go, I'm sorry. You know, a lot of people are losing their faith here and not understanding. And you just got to flow with this. Okay. This is really big. Okay. This is a spiritual war that is taking over the whole world, because this is for this dimension. And unfortunately, I'm just going to throw this shit out. There's a lot of doorways. I told you that this was happening before, where other dimensional beings are coming in here, but it's kind of like the door's really being open. And
CERN is starting tonight, I think, and tomorrow, and they're going full blast, higher power than they've ever used, or highest, fastest thing ever, I think, on Tuesday or some shit. So, speaking of opening portals.
Yeah. And you know what? Like I keep saying, you know, enjoy every moment right now the best you can. It's like, whoa, dude, got sunburn, motorcycle riding all day. Enjoyed myself. Don't get caught up of staring down the dark well, because if you do that, they win. All right, live every moment of life right now and enjoy it. Is it going to get tough? Hell yeah, it's tough now. If it hasn't hit you, I guarantee it's hit your neighbor. Okay, but it is going to get a lot worse. Okay, but it'll get better. we just got to keep the faith here. Okay? Keep the spirit of love in you and just understand, that this has to happen. Everything that's occurred, Trump could have stayed in. He could have, but you would never know who these other individuals are. Now they've laid their hand down. Everybody in the whole world and every country know who they're dealing with now. They can't hide it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And Spirit wanted me to say this to you, because you just brought up in a conversation a little while ago about them fencing off the White House and doing this about certain properties. And this is what they said. It's a no construction zone. Think about it. When you're tearing something down, they put that shit going around it to keep people out. Oh, major construction going on here. Oh, yeah, baby. I'm excited as shit. I really am. This is
there's some hints.
Thumbs up.
Okay, hold on,
hints.
Joe. Hold on, Joe. I need to get Penny in here. We're a little bit long on this segment. We'll come back. Keep a note on that one, Joe. I want to have you talk on that. Richard just said something really funny here. He said, yes, there's a lot of change going on. I'd like to invite the audience members to go see Cliff's last Substack on sneezing, and he's talking about this field of potential for change, and there's a lot of it in the Materium right now. And if you haven't noticed, go to a mortuary because you're a dead fucker. Okay, so that's Cliff, of course, having fun there. Yes, there's a lot of changes here. Penny, going back to this idea here of this 4 weeks, more or less, from this conversation, how does that tie in also with your look-see? And if now you feel it's a good time, also talk about silver, your prediction, and how this ties in perhaps for the rest of the year. Also, a lot of people in the chat are asking about silver.
Well, a couple things. First of all, I had a date of like July 10th and 11th, like next weekend. So if it's tomorrow, well, that just means we know what we're dealing with a little bit sooner. If it's the week after that, well, we hang on a little bit longer. Hang on a second.
She's having a catastrophe.
Yeah, my headphones and chewing on my earplugs and all kinds of stuff. So there's this sense of, I'm kind of with Richard, get it over with. I can't stand the suspense. I have felt that something big was going to change by mid-July. And so I just left it there, but everybody seems to be saying the same thing. And so it concerns me that it's not going to be fun very much unless you make fun, unless you do things that are enjoyable after mid-July. And what I've seen is it gets a little rougher in August, and then it gets way rougher in September. And then in October, there's stuff about, we have a new reason to wear a mask. Like that. We have all kinds of new warnings and oh my gosh, and that in disruption in schools, disruption in work, back working at home, all kinds of difficulties, ballots that we have to send in by mail, and the elections do not go well. They do not go, period. There's a few spots here and there where people do vote, but it did not look like it went very smoothly at all. And there were not only disruptions in the mail, but in the electricity. People didn't have electricity. And so there was no, what do you call that when you make it official? The election, they certify it. I think it's called certifying.
Certifying the vote, yeah.
Yeah, they weren't able to certify anything, and that just seemed to be the final legs pulled out from under people. And the rest of November and December were pretty dark. And then it looked like sometime around Christmas time, maybe the end of December, beginning of January, there was some sort of coup. Some military group stood up and said, that's enough. So, that we kind of take a breath after that, I did go looking to see. Hang on a second. Get down. Get down. Come here. Come here. Get down. So I did go looking to see what, what happened after January, February. It was some people were doing really well. Hang on. Sorry.
I told you it was going to get weird tonight.
Yeah. So, this is my abracadabra. We call her Abby.
I thought I saw a putty cat. No, that's something else. Keep going, Penny.
She's not usually in here. I think she wants to go outside. So maybe I'll run and let her out as soon as we switch to somebody else. But as we move through next year, there was a lot of people that were very disruptive. They didn't like the turn of events. There was a lot of disillusionment. Nobody had any money. Some people did not have electricity, or it was spotty on and off. And a lot of people couldn't afford to go anywhere. And it was just, it looked like it was going from the breather was January, February, and maybe March. And then it started getting difficult. People were not cooperating with one another. We have to come together. We have to start working together, because what we had is over. And that is the bottom line. We need to be thinking and talking about, okay, what's next? How do we want things to go?
Right. Okay, what's next, Penny? You need to take care of that cat. And when you come back, I'm going to ask you about silver. But first, Joe, let me bring you up on the screen here. Somebody's asking you specifically about that. But first, Debbie Spinello is saying, what the hell are you guys talking about? Okay, some of this, nothing, absolutely nothing. We got nothing. Some of these WebBot data predictions and temporal markers, of course, can be found in a lot of these older WebBot reports. You can find them here for free. Just download them on beyondmystic.net/Cliff High in one word. You guys can take a snapshot of that. Don't email me for the link. It's free for everyone. It's right there. Very easy for you guys to find. Now, okay, Joe, somebody's asking you, hey, JC, get Joe to talk about silver at $9. Not sure why $9. You're in the silver in the single digits, Joe. I'll ask you to extrapolate that dream, talk about why silver is important and how perhaps impossible is going to get at these low prices. For those people who are hoping to catch a bottom here, good luck with that, because supply is very tight right now. And then I'll get Penny to finish in on some of her predictions for silver. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, and $9 would be the first single digit you could get after 10. Right. That's not the number I saw. It's lower than that. So I think it will not last long. I can't prove that, but I've never have really asked about gold and silver, and I just got a dream. It was not that long ago, and I swear I keep thinking like, well, what was the price when it started dropping? And I just felt like I was watching gold at around 1900 maybe, somewhere in that range. And then that's when it was just, I was like, oh my God, I'm watching this thing crashing. And I'm like, I can't believe how far gold's gone down. I saw the price, but I couldn't remember it. And then they take me to silver immediately. And I'm watching silver. And there was no dropping. It was already see the price now. It's already down. And it's the single digit. And I go, there's no effing way. I'm thinking there's no way. And I wake up. What was gold? What was gold? I don't remember. But I know what silver was. And it was definitely below $9. And I'm going, holy shit, they're going to crash everything. And then it reminded me, well, what did Woo Woo Dude say? You're going to need cash at some point. You'll need metals at some point. You'll need cryptos at some point, and not necessarily in a certain order. So we might start off with those things are crashing, crypto's crashing, silver and gold's crashing. Well, we got cash on the side. Okay, use that cash to buy the cheap crypto, to buy the cheap silver, or other things you need in your life. So that's where I got that from. I didn't even ask for it. Usually, at least I can ask for something and go, oh my gosh, they showed me this last night. But it's like, no, this is just important. We need to show them now.
And also, let's finish on your thoughts, Joe, on the availability to obtain silver in single digits. What are the premiums going to be?
Sure.
And will people even want to sell at that number? Because you remember last time.
Go ahead.
I
was just talking to my dad, but we went out for lunch today, me and my dad. He calls me up. Oh, my the car you gave me, the Nissan Leaf, and something's wrong. The brake light's on. Something I can't see the dealer." And I go, "Oh shit! I guess Spirit wants me to buy my dad a car or something." Because I go, "No, it's probably something stupid." So long story short, even though it's an electric car, it has a battery, regular 12-volt battery for accessories. It thing's 7 years old. I go, "Dad, I think probably just needs a battery." So sure enough, needs a battery. Got a battery replaced. Done. So Dad, let's go eat lunch. So we're on the way there. We're eating. And we're talking about silver and gold and stuff. And he goes, do you know what a freaking eagle will cost you right now? $30. Mm-hmm. And he's talking about these coin dealers, these damn coin dealers, they'll give you spot maybe $1 over for that, but then they're going to turn around and sell it for 50% higher. Mm-hmm. He goes, I've never met one of these effing guys that I respect. You got to run a business. He's like, but I just never met one that, like, come on, that's what you're going to give me when I need to sell it. But, he and I mentioned that. So, well, my dream. And he said the same thing. He goes, yeah, but what do you think the premium's going to be? So let's use that guy's example of $9. Mm-hmm. What would the premium be? If it's 20 right now or 19 something, $20, and it's 30 to get a silver eagle, well, you probably could get a regular ounce of silver of something else of maybe 24, 25. I don't know. Yeah. But eagles are the ones, that's what everybody wants. $30. So if you just did the same math, assuming it stayed the same, your $9 eagle is going to have to be 50% higher than that. So you're going to pay $14-15 for that. But again, that would still be cheap for most people. I don't know that would happen. I mean, you may see the prices and go, oh, let me place an order. Sorry, we don't have any. And by the way, the mint said, they did their stupid thing they do. We're reducing the supply. You got to wait. We're changing the dies out. There's a new die with a new coin. And, some nonsense. You're not going to be able to get the coin. Primary dealers won't be able to get the coin. Then they can't sell it to the smaller guys. And you're sitting here watching the price going, well, if that's the price, I want some. How do I get some? And it's like you're not going to go, go place an order on Wall Street with a futures contract. Okay, demand delivery. Oh, sorry, something happened. Here's your money back. And then that whole thing implodes, which, again, is maybe was what causes also this damn thing to crash in the first place.
Right, exactly. Okay, having said that, Penny, you had mentioned earlier in Elixir, I believe last month, that, again, in some of your long-term forecasting, you're getting these $400, $600, $800 prices of silver. There's a sequence to that. It going up, it coming back down. Here at $9, I would tend to agree with Joe, his dad, and some people in the chat saying it's going to be impossible to find at $9. So if you're looking at silver, go ahead.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Okay, let's hear what you have to say.
I've seen is that people who have not prepared very well are. When the banks go down, they are desperate to get certain things. They need certain things in order. They got to buy food. Some of them need water. There's stuff that they need, and they will sell silver. They'll use their silver, and that will put a little bit of it on the market. But man, they're going to get ripped off, because they're going to put it out. They're going to be willing to sell it at the absolute worst time. So there will be a little bit out there. But after there's some shocks. And it looks like the shocks are, the banks are going down. We're going to go to either online banks, a lot of little online banks I see, and credit unions, and some of those do okay, some of them not so well. Mm-hmm. But cash people are using cash between and among themselves. If they have some, you can't get cash, but if you have some stashed away, then people bring that out, and people are using everything for money that they can just to get the things they need. We still need. And so as we move toward the end of the year, it looks like silver just keeps on creeping up. And I saw it go to 400. I saw it go to 600. I saw it go to 800 and then drop back down to like 575 or 600, somewhere in there. And then it looked like it stabilized for a short time, and then it started going up again. And I don't even want to say what I saw. It was ridiculously up. And so I think we're going to see, heaven and hell in terms of silver prices, with hell being the less than $9 price, and heaven being something that makes it almost dangerous to own silver.
Right. You mentioned crazy prices. I love to bring up this shirt. Of course, this is Richard's favorite shirt. It no longer is in existence. But anyways, this was that famous show where Richard was talking about these $50,000 per tube of silver eagles. Absolutely crazy. Guys, in the meantime, if you're looking for physical silver, please check out the discounts afforded to the Beyond Mystic audience. This is beyondmystic.net/silver. The 2022 silver Britannias, Krugerrands, and Philharmonic, all at $5 over spot. Incredibly low price if you guys are interested in that. If you are on the Canadian side of the equation, $7.99 over spot, which is about $2 to $3 cheaper than all the competitors here in Canada. For the Royal Canadian Mint silver maple. So check that out. That's with mfbullion.ca. Joe, let's switch gears here. Let me bring you up on the screen. Somebody was just saying, hey, JC, the G7 meeting now at Hitler's Eagle Nest. Fourth Reich already. Anybody?
I have it.
Well, look at these pictures. I posted this earlier today.
You got them? Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. What do you make of this? Let's do a quick round of things. Is it so in your face? All of us have described at some point how these people running the show, they have no choice but to tell us what they're going to do and what they're doing. It's part of their contract to not fuck up with free will. Is this them telling us exactly who the hell's running the show? Let's start with you, Joe, as you're on the screen.
Yeah, and there's one. I don't know if you have it on your screen. Let me share my screen real quick.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Let's see. Is it two? Yeah, that one. Okay.
People are asking for the link for the silver. Hold on. I'm just going to put that into the live chat as well. There you go, guys. That's where all the discounts are for the audience. Okay, Joe, next picture. Yeah, let me bring this one up here. Go ahead.
So here's this humanoid thing with a partial baby thing, right? And there's Macron. Oh, it's Macron. Yeah, look at that. It's wonderful. And you got the camera guy back here, of course. All these, again, the baby with the gas mask. I mean, what is this nonsense? So it's, I mean, these, Trudeau was there. Everybody's there, right? Everybody's over there seeing this nonsense. Again, it's like in your face. Could they be so brazen? Who told them to go there? Why would they publish this right now? Again, to me, again, it looks bad on the surface. Yes, they're there. Yes, they're there. These Satanists, blah, blah, blah. But is this a good guy thing that's really in charge to say, let's just keep exposing these criminals and just keep pushing this? So even the weirdo leftists will see this and go, yeah, I'm not going to post anything on social media because I don't want people to attack me. But yeah, that's a little strange. Just to get some of these people on board. It's just like one thing after another to just wake more and more people. Like, you couldn't be stupid enough to really go and do that. I mean, you just couldn't, in my opinion. So
why did they meet? What were they meeting for?
It's a G7 meeting, I think, just their G7 thing, and they stopped off there, unless that's part of where they had their meeting. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they were talking about climate change, the climate accords, the digital ID. I'll just put it that way. One of the things also that's coming out of this, I'm just looking for the screenshot on my Twitter here, was also this new legislation that's resulting in this. Dutch farmers livid over EU's green nitrogen rule. Again, closing down some farms here, and just today they were spreading shit on literally shit on government buildings. So huge uproar there. It's not making the mainstream news, but these are the type of things that the G7 here were talking about, of course, with climate change. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. So I just want to mention a couple of things. So let's just. I've had this thought. I haven't even mentioned this on Patreon or anything because it's just like a little recurring thought that comes back to me. Okay. And I'm like, okay, Spirit showed me 20 cent XRP, $408 Ethereum. And but something's going, could it go even lower? And the answer is yes, it could. But I just was kind of taking a note. So if XRP is 20 cents and Spirit's saying that's your time to buy it and get your effing coins off the exchange. When you get these low prices, pull them off the exchange back into your private wallets. Mm-hmm. Let's say we watch XRP go down to 10 cents, 9 cents. And we're going, oh my God, I bought it 20. But there's a problem, like silver, Can't get it. Exchange is down. Can't pull my coins off. There's a problem. There's a scam. There's this, there's that. And you can't even get the stuff. So I just want to put that out there that if by chance we see much lower numbers than what I got, there's a reason Spirit showed me those numbers. And that might be to just have a good price. You don't be effing greedy. Get your good prices in there. Get your shit off the exchange and sit back and let the fireworks happen. And then when things settle and the exchanges are okay and everything's okay, oh, the prices are going back up. Now it's time to maybe start selling. But it's going to be a while before that happens. So you just need to get your coins off the exchange. The other two things. I've had dreams about flooding, and a lot of them. My wife too. Cities. I thought it was in New York City. I wasn't sure where I was. Subway and this and that. But there's a thing again. Back to that message board, the wizards and warlocks and all that stuff. Watch the water. And there's some reason I have to believe how do you say the Potomac River?
The Potomac.
Potomac could have an issue. And DC's right there. So I just, that's a thought. And then I had a couple of dreams. One about fireworks. And this kind of goes in line maybe with what Wudu says about, things in the sky, whether that's meteors or flashy lights in the sky. And I saw this. I don't know if this was an American thing only, if this was a worldwide thing where all the governments all of a sudden decided, I felt like it wasn't time to do fireworks, like the 4th of July, let's say. But it was like, why are we shooting off fireworks? What is the celebration? The whole country's doing it, And it's like you look up, you're going, hey, what are those extra lights up there? Or like, what's that? And you realize these assholes are trying to cover the sky up because something's happening up there that we should be paying attention to. So, of course, 4th of July is right around the corner tomorrow now. And I'm going, well, maybe it had to do with 4th of July, but there's still something in the sky that they're trying to cover up. I don't know. And then my final one I had recently was bread. And I've had plenty of shortages dreams. I've warned people about this. But this time I'm with my wife, and she's been in some of my dreams with the shortages. And we're discussing buying another freezer strictly to put in bread and freeze the bread. Because if you freeze bread, you can warm it up way later. It'll actually last quite a while. But obviously, if it's not frozen, it doesn't last very long. And this whole thing was about getting another freezer and don't put anything except bread in this thing and fill it chock full of bread. So go buy all the extra bread you can and put it in here, freeze it. Don't mess with it. Just leave it alone. Don't use it. Wait until you need it. And it was just a quick little dream. And I go, okay, well, that's an interesting insight because number one, bread can certainly save your ass. You can make all kinds of stuff with bread, peanut butter jelly, tuna fish. If you got the canned tuna fish, it's easy to, and then again, peanut butter jelly will last too. So if you stocked up on that, you're going to have bread. There you go. So I just wanted to mention those things. That's all I got. You're muted, Jay.
Oh, very good. Thank you. You mentioned UFOs in there too. Cliff in his last video was also talking about that. Of course, he started back in the fall of 2021 saying here that sometime in 2022 we would be talking about this in the open. So something's happening where it's going to be in our field of view. So interesting that you're dreaming on that as well. Penny, let me bring you up on that point. There's a couple of parts here in your latest look-sees. Some of it we've shared with the audience, some you haven't shared. You talked about some tarot, the split between right and left, the future of cryptocurrencies. But let's talk about the ET component here. What can you share that could be in the limelight here, perhaps for July, August, and September?
Well, okay. So there's a lot of intensifying, I guess would be the way I would say it, from the ET people that I know. I think they're aware that we are very close to either making or breaking it. And they are in support. They have bluntly said, if we don't see you demonstrating action to live in a way that's positive, to live in a way that is good and honorable, then we're not going to lift a finger. There is no point in intervening if in a destructive culture. They want us to not only say, but live like we love one another. So that's a big, powerful message. We are seeing that some people are being taken out. As fast as they're taken out, clones appear. so it doesn't look like anything's happening. As long as we keep not noticing the difference. I saw a picture of Biden this morning and thought, that's not Biden. It was a profile, and it wasn't even close to his normal profile. And I thought, who is that? So I think we have to begin to see beyond the facades that are out there. And once we begin to honestly see that, then we will have, they won't be too obvious. I mean, they have said we could come out and show ourselves, but it's dangerous right now because there are people in control of equipment that is very powerful, and they would take us down in a minute.
That's interesting you say that, because 2 weeks ago, as I took a couple of days off here to spend time with the family, and I really disconnected from YouTube. I didn't do any videos. This was my first time not doing videos in like 2 years. But in a session of meditation, I saw somebody looking at me, and somebody else looking at that somebody looking at me. And I'm like, who the fuck are you guys? So it kind of spooked me up. Richard, let me get you here on the screen for the audience members. You've mentioned in the last couple of interviews since you've been on my show that there's many levels here to this spiritual war and many interveners. And there's every time you think you're dealing with the Grand Poobah, there's another Grand Poobah behind all of this. How do you see that coming to light here, maybe in the next couple of months, maybe as early as this month here, as we're expecting maybe some fireworks? Share with the audience here your understanding of perhaps who the players are. There's a lot of new audience members since you were on and spoke about that last. Share that with the audience members here and try to make light of who all these players are and perhaps how all of this is going to come to fruition here. Our understanding that we're actually not alone and that we're being fucked with, presently speaking. Go ahead, Richard. Oh, Richard, hold on, Richard. You were mute. Okay, go ahead, mute.
Yeah, we're definitely not alone. But I want to touch bases on a couple things that I think everybody needs to look at things a little differently. You know, the photo of Macron that you just did, standing in front of the photos, all right, the pictures. Do you understand that, see, everybody out there says, well, they're telling us what they're going to do. Oh, horseshit. Don't you realize they're being perp walked right now? And that the big powers are putting them in front of the things that they've been all about, not what they've done. I mean, not what they're doing, it's what they've done. And they all have to get photos and being out to show who they are. And people around the world are looking at going, why the F would I stand next to that? Because this is what I've been doing. They're all being pulled out. Oh, he looks happy. Oh, I could tell he's not nervous at all. Going, shit, you think everybody's going to realize? Yep. So everything you're seeing is actually being sent down in the consciousness to every human being going, yeah, this is who I am. I'm sorry. No, you're screwed. Okay? And you're going to see more and more. It's not what they're going to do. I'm sorry. That shit's over, my friend. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody. This shit's coming out. There's a new player here. All right? They're going to be removed. But all the roots of the tree of evil are going to be exposed and shown to people who they are. And this is what you guys are watching. But you're looking at it in the wrong way. Oh, this is what they're going to do. Fuck no. This is what they've been doing. Okay? Now they're going to be framed, a picture framed in front of it, where everybody in each one of the countries are going to see these people of who they are. You know? But, well, let me ask you this. Would you love to have your photo next to a naked child who's being raped up on a fucking wall? Oh, yeah. Hey, that's what I'm going to do. Think about what's going through his head right now, going, oh, shit. Yeah, baby. Okay. You're all going to be exposed for who you are because this shit is all coming down completely. And yep, are we going to have some rough time? Absolutely. But you know what? As Cliff would say, a little bit of kumite goes a long way. Okay? It does. All right? This is a battle for humanity. This is all going to come out. This is what's being shown to you here. So don't think they're in charge. They're not in charge. They're losing it completely. It's being taken care of. And now there's bigger beings going, hey, asshole, I need everybody to see your picture up against the wall. Oh, do I have to? Yes, G7, you do. Oh, shit. Yeah. That's what's happening. And it's huge. Now, you know.
Speaking of shit, this is the shit video I wanted to show you guys, but keep going, Richard.
Well, you know, I was going to make a joke about that before you showed it. Is the reason that they're all meeting together is because they're all giving each other's enemies because they're all full of shit, baby. Okay? And it's coming down and it's piling up quick. And what's about to happen with Russia, NATO, and everything else is going to put everything over the edge. All right? Now, Joe is having incredible dreams. The connections that are going on, everything. Now, I'm going to tell you the $6 thing, because while he's talking, they're showing me stuff. What they showed me was 2 plugs being unplugged. And then what they showed me was, you ever see a garden hose, you hold it too far down, the thing's going all over the place?
Yeah.
Okay. Everything's going to be unplugged when it comes to the financial system, and it's going to go totally ape shit. Now, one of your viewers, why they're showing me this, put a little thing on your screen there, and it had to do with Cliff High, unobtainium, silver unobtainium. And then Spirit showed me oil at 0. Do you remember when it was to 0? Right? Just with the 0. Hey, did you buy any? No. Okay. And when you unplug everything short circuits. It goes ape shit. All right. So you see these crazy numbers. You ain't getting it. Okay. They don't even know what the hell to do. Okay. Until it connects again. And then the world has changed and everything starts to adjust. All right. So to think that you're going to go jump on a bandwagon and grab it at $9, let me know how that works out for you. Okay. And if you're that much of a dumbass to think you shouldn't get it right now, when we're talking incredible values, oh, I'm pissed. I paid $30 for it, and the son of a bitch is only worth $500. Dude, it's like, really? Why do you keep showing my favorite shirt? You rat bastard. But do you understand? When this unravels, everything's going to go ape shit, but you're not going to be able to get it. And I can tell you this. You think those silver guys are going to sell this shit to you? There's no way in hell that everybody's going to hold what they have until they figure out what the hell happened. It's like oil, when they just showed me oil going to 0. What are you going to do when oil hits 250 and 300 a barrel? Boy, is that going to be a way that's going to gut punch our ass. Okay? But it's all part of unplugging it, restructuring it, bringing it back together. Okay? And then during that time, this is why I kept doing this. This is what they kept showing me. You need the cryptos, you need the precious metals, you need the dollars, because we're going to ride this wave, okay, until we're out of this. And you need to adjust as this happens. Okay? Bango. We all know the food shortages are here. Is it going to get worse? Absolutely. We all know that. You don't have to be a freaking psychic to know that. Go look. You know, I told my daughter the other day, I was over the house. I said, Katie, I'm glad you listened to me on baby formula. She did 3 months ago. So she had, when the baby was born, she had the formula. I said, I'm seriously telling you, you have to start grabbing everything you can now and just putting it to the side. And
if you look at that post that we were talking about with Cliff High earlier, he was talking about, of course, putting a lot of meat in the freezer. I don't know where I lost that.
Well, you just remember, you physically cannot survive without protein.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down, bottom line, you can live on meat and protein. You cannot live on carbohydrates. But, you know, this is, I think a lot of people are going to be trading things back and forth. You'll have people that grow things fantastic that'll swap for other things. I think we're just going to be going through this until everything's reconnected. Anybody who thinks this shit's going to change on a dime and reconnect in a day, a week, a month, this is the world. There's no way. We got to ride this thing out, okay? But have faith, okay? They're getting their asses kicked right now. And I say to you, Mr. Macron, you look good in front of those photos.
I love this poster here. The 5 most used words in the coming weeks and months will be, we tried to tell you. Of course, David Morgan was retweeting that the other day. I love his tweets. Guys, go check him out on his Twitter. I wanted to take a quick sidebar here, Richard, as you're talking about all of these people being exposed, having to do the walk of shame, so to speak. We've talked about Macron, Trudeau here, and all of these G7 members in front of the wall here. What do you guys make of this news story? Of course, the person who was procuring the bad things and making sure that the bad things were happening for these elite people just got 20 years in jail, yet the people who were actually fucking and doing the bad things to the other people so far are nowhere to be seen. No list has been shown. I want to caution you to watch your words here a little bit, but let's start with you, Richard. You're still on the screen. Is this perp walk on the context of the people actually doing the fucking here? Is that also going to be making the light of day here anytime soon? What are your thoughts?
All right. So this will be a nice breadcrumb without getting anybody in trouble.
I didn't see that one coming.
Don't you like that word? And boy, is that going to come up a lot. All right. Here we are. There's a buffet in front of us. Ooh. And they hand you a crouton. And you eat it. Do you think that's enough to satisfy them? And everybody goes, fuck you. Look at all that. We're going for all of it now. She's that little piece. And hoping that that will suffice all the rest. But I say, watch the dominoes now. See? Hey, that actually looks like Flipper back in the day.
Yeah.
I know. You got to laugh at some of the shit, but put this stuff and think about it. Oh, yeah. We'll throw her in. We'll throw her in for 20 years. That'll do it. That'll satisfy everything. Oh, yeah. Let me know how that works out for you.
Okay. Let me bring you in also, Penny, and some of your look-sees. Do you see the people involved in I'll get Joe last, because Joe, what was interesting also, you've mentioned many times that let Penny finish, and I'll get back to you, Joe, in a second. Go ahead, so Penny. Do you see this more in the list of these people doing the actual bad deeds here, making the light of day in the perp walk? Are they already doing it, perhaps?
I see it pretty much like Richard sees it. It's supposed to be a sacrifice. She's the sacrificial lamb for that whole group. Whoops, you're echoing. So there. Okay. However, what I have seen that really disturbs me is that if there isn't any action to take down the people who are really the bad boys and the bad girls, that the population goes after themselves. If they get caught, it's not going to be fun. I mean, they are hiding. There are people that are buying stuff out of the U.S., out of the North American continent. They're elsewhere in the world. They're trying to make themselves as inobtrusive as possible, but I don't know that they're going to be successful with that. And the other thing I've seen is, I don't know what you call them, people that do special operations, undercover stuff, special assassins. They go after a few people. And we never really hear about that, but people disappear. And so we're coming into a time that's really, really, really messy. It's really going to be, I think, ugly. There have been some talk about we're not going down. There's other talk or other things. I'll share a little thing, which I think I might have mentioned before, but I want to bring it up again. In thinking about where are we going? If we break up as a country, you know, if we break up into pieces, who's got the military? Who's got the power? How do we defend ourselves? Because there's a couple other countries out there that are very interested in our breadbasket. And if we get taken over or taken down or incorporated into somebody else, then we have a whole new ballgame happening. And years ago, I was doing a reading. This was like 30 years ago for myself. I was doing some channeling. And the response, my husband and I were talking about the exercise room. I have a big room that we didn't know what to do with. It was like 30 by 30, and I wanted to leave it empty, and he wanted to make it into something. And I said, no, just leave it empty. Let it be my exercise room. And so we went back and forth with this for quite a while. And then all of a sudden, one day when we said, we have a bunch of questions, let's do a reading for ourselves. So in that reading, one of the questions was, you know, what should we do with that room? And the answer was, leave that room empty so that it holds no extra energy other than the energy you bring to it, because there will come a time when you will gather in that room and meditate in order to keep the soldiers who are going down the road and not stopping to investigate your place. And I was so shocked by that. It was like, what? Soldiers coming down the road here in the middle of nowhere, you know, checking out what? The cornfields and the grapes? But I never forgot that, and I was highly disturbed by that. And that has kind of hung over me like, you know, watch out, watch what you're doing. So we do not have very much security moving forward. Right now, we are like a ripe peach, ready to be plucked from the tree. And I think we need to pay attention to where we are at and see the bigger picture and stop getting caught in all the little BS issues that come up to divide us.
Mm-hmm. Very good point. And as you're mentioning here, we're ripe for the picking. Chinese companies, again, buying North Dakota farmland, raising national security concerns here in Washington, just in the news today. Joe, I promise you a last crack at this one here too. What do you make of this? How do you see this unfolding? Is it a breadcrumb to eventually get more? Are these people already perhaps at the spa south of Florida? What's going on?
Yeah, I think some of them are. And I do think the rest of them will get caught, but not right now. And again, who is the lead prosecutor against her? James Comey's daughter is the lead prosecutor against, you know. So what do you think is going to happen? That's their plan. Again, she'll take the fall. She'll take the fall. And speaking of people who may be not with us or in a jail somewhere, where the F is James Comey?
That's a good point. And you know, something you've been saying, and this is what was screaming at me a couple of minutes ago, you often said that if the people who say they're in control now are actually in control, then why is this happening? Why are other items like this where they're
the whole
losing
thing could have been thrown out on a technicality? She
Right.
was just a friend. She didn't have anything to do with, but she did get caught.
Right.
And we exposed James Comey's daughter being the prosecutor. Hey, what's going on? All right. Again, it's just the tree's roots are being exposed. The tree of evil's roots, one by one. And this tree of evil has so many roots. There's no tree on it like Earth. So as they get exposed, it's just more mind-blowing of the amount of roots that are coming out, which makes perfect sense. Why the woo-woo dude has always said that. We can't just chop the tree down. The roots have to be exposed first. And here we are thinking, oh, we know about most of stuff. How many roots are there? Hurry up, hurry up. And it's like, oh, no.
Even the more awake among us are all going to go, what the fuck? We had no idea it was that bad. Exactly. Wow. Okay, guys, I'm going to ask you one last question. This was from the live chat, and then I'll ask you guys maybe for last words of advice or anything you want to share with the audience before you go. But before we do that, Be Wild is asking, JC, can you ask Joseph or JSNIP4, the woo-woo dude, if we're any closer to this family story and perhaps what could happen? Is this something in the timeline now where it's safer to talk about it? Let me start with you, woo-woo dude, and then I'll ask Joe also. Either or. Go ahead, Richard.
We can't say it on you. You'll be gone. Okay, we can't say it.
Hey, Richard, if the answer is no, the answer is no. That's great. That's the answer for the audience members. Of course, we're seeing more and more in the news. It's coming out. Anyway, you can go read here, but there's a lot already coming out, and that implies that some things are going to happen there. So if you don't know what we're talking about, just use your noggin here and roll the tape forward here a couple of days, maybe, or a couple of weeks, and you'll see where this is all leading to. Okay, Richard, while I have you there, and I'll end with Penny, I guess, tonight. Richard, any last words of wisdoms here where the night before perhaps things could start happening really, really quickly here? Our ability to be able to communicate as a group also might be hindered in these times. Cliff High was talking about these blackouts or some of these big purges on our platform so that we cannot come together and explain to people what is happening. What would you say now in case perhaps this was one of our last broadcasts, Richard? I hope I'm not manifesting that. Oh my God, why did I even say that? Go ahead, Richard.
JC, what the hell is wrong with you? You know what? Do you know what Penny said? You need to be in that room and you meditate so they walk by. Many years ago, and I know I brought this up with Joe, and those YouTubes were taken down, where I was channeling a group of people that were called the Council of 12. And when we used to teach channeling, at New Hampshire Metaphysical, and they warned us about the blue heads. They said the blue heads are coming. And I always thought, well, for a short amount of time, that blue heads were like aliens or something. I got blue heads. But I realized that the blue heads were blue helmets. And then the other vision that I was given maybe 2 years ago, where Spirit had me walk down this road. They said, "Can you see them?" And I said, "I can't see anything." I said, "I see sand." I saw this big sand pit. And they said, "Float." So I floated above it, looked down, and I saw all these white vehicles that were hidden in plain sight, but yet you would not be able to see them. Okay? If you flew over them, you could see them. And then they showed me tunnels that went across the United States. And they said, in one night, and they showed me all these vehicles coming out of tunnels. And then all of a sudden you'd wake up and there were armed forces that were around like all the Walmarts. Okay. It's like, how the hell did they get there? Okay. Controlling the foods and things like this. So, and I really believe that's part of the Civil War and everything that goes on. Like I said, there's a lot to this. All right. But again, my cup is half full. Okay. Like I tell people, I can't change my story. I've seen shit that'll turn your hair white. Okay.
Liar.
Liar. Wait. Look. I'm turning back to Gandalf the Grey. What the hell's going on here? I don't know what's going on. Live every moment and just understand this is like, a breeze that changes direction all the time. You're never going to prepare for everything, so flow with it. Don't put targets on your back. The object is to make it through this, because there's some really cool shit once we do.
Right.
But you got to keep that faith in your heart on this. You just do. And like I said, what's the worst that's going to happen to you? When you cross over and you see those two big dudes, just go, hey, where's Woo Dude? Oh, he's down at the pub. Okay, come on over and visit me. Other than that, who gives a shit?
All right. So that's the call to action to the other side. We're all going to meet Richard here for a good old beer.
We're
Okay.
in good hands. We really are. These beings are incredible. No different than what happened to Snippy the other day. Okay? They told me to call you right now at this split second. Right now. And he goes, well, I said, don't say a word. And he didn't. He didn't say a word. He knows better. And then went, he goes, what is the odds of that? No shit. Okay? They're really good at what they do. All right? We have a lot of dirty laundry that's got to be cleaned here. Keep your faith. Stay loved. Do nice things with people. You know?
Exactly. And in the meantime, guys, if you want to have a private session with Richard, the Woo Dude, you can do so at woowoodude.com. Richard, what's the schedule looking like if people want to book with you now? When's the first available booking?
August.
August, okay, not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, very good. So, folks, woowoodude.com is where you can reach Richard, and his lovely companion Julianne also is there. Is there available for bookings. Joe, your last words of advice or anything else you wanted to share with the audience members before we go tonight? I'll come back on that whole idea of this being our last broadcast. I'm going to clean that up energetically. Don't you worry, I will. So, Joe, last words of advice, maybe as we head into this crazy week of events and energies. Joe.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say this too. I don't know if I mentioned this on YouTube. I might have. I had to get a couple things done on the helicopter, and one of the things, it's like you might as well just do the annual all over again. So it resets it for the next year. So I'll have to do it again. They'll be done in August. So next August, I'll have to get another annual every single August. Anyways, this place is in Tennessee, and they're like, we can start on it second week of July, 2 to 3 weeks, we'll be done. Okay, and something's telling me. See if you can bring it a little earlier. So I asked him, yeah, when do you want to come? We'll make room for it. Next week, which was just this past week. And yeah, I'll see you. I'll see you on Wednesday. So I loaded her up on the trailer. Monday, Tuesday I was there, left back, Tuesday to Wednesday, got home. But there was something pressing saying, get this out of the way, get your travel up that far done. Almost like, you don't want to do this second week of July to get up there and find out you can't. And then, oh shit, they need me, but I can't get there. It was just maybe not that bad, but there was something just saying, just get it out of the way now. And so I did. And I listened to that. It felt good. I got home. I was like, okay, everything was real smooth. I didn't come across any rioters about the Roe versus Wade, nothing. It was clear sailing besides a couple of stupid car accidents that set me back. But yeah, I mean, Spirit is showing me things and letting me know there's a pretty interesting future ahead of some of the exploring in mountains and things that I'm going to be doing, amongst other things. And there's no way I can get to that if things are going to just be so bad and it's the end of the world and like I can't go there if that's going to happen. So I couldn't possibly get this information if that's how bleak things are or something. I mean, it's just, again, there's definitely some speed bumps. They're giving me specific crypto prices because I know how many people follow me on this stuff and are in my Patreon and that sort of thing, and how many people this can help. When you think about it, normally it's like off limits. We're not supposed to help these, these mortals, these humans with financial gain, every now and then maybe, and it's like they give me the shit. I shouldn't say all the time, but if you really look back, it's enough that it's pretty regularly, even if a period of time goes by where they're silent. And I'm like, why are they, why would they just give this to me? Like that many times, exact numbers, buy here or sell there. And then it happens. And I sit here in awe every time, even though it's happened a bunch of times. And I'm going, well, I don't know. They're giving it to me because they want to help people. I'm going to share this. So I share it, and again, typically it's on Patreon first, and then maybe later they'll guide me. Oh, you need to tell everybody else, and then I'll do it. But they are letting us know there's going to be some problems, and financially is one of the biggest things. So if bread is super expensive, or you're having problems, or the blue helmets are at Walmart and you can only get your rations. Oh, that's okay. I've got an effing freezer full of bread because that damn JSNIP4 told me I had a stupid dream about filling a freezer with freaking bread. And I did it. Holy shit, was that good? I was able to take care of my mom and my sister, and I could barter with it during that those 3 months of terrible, blah blah blah. So I get this information. It's coming. It's going to be useful, but I've also gotten destruction information and floods and problems and you name it. But again, it's a cycle. Shit happens. Get past it, because I get the same thing that after this. You're going to want to be incarnated on this planet, if not already, right? Because it's going to get cool. Technology is going to be really awesome, and I have to be here for that. Why did Spirit give me a 2-year-old son right now? If this shit's coming and it's going to be horrible and I can't deal with it, and why did they give me him? Yeah. Because he's going to survive. I'm going to survive. We're all going to survive. You just have to be freaking smart about it. Prepare. There's nothing wrong with preparing, and keep your head on a swivel. You should be able to get through this like the rest of us.
You sleep really well when you are prepared. Joe, tell us what we can find here on your Patreon. You just talked about some of the trade calls. What else can we find here?
Yep. So I just posted one on Theta with an exact price. They're telling me sell it at this price. We're going to go up a little bit. Here's your price. Don't sell now, because I was just about to sell as soon as it unstaked. I'm like, I'm just going to dump it all because I know it's going down. And even my big hodl bag of Theta, I'm like, I'm going to tap into that, because why am I going to watch this keep falling? And I've got to download to just sell it. So anyways, I just posted, I got a price, and I go, I'm doing it. So it's stuff like that. Or sometimes Woo Woo Dude will call and give me, oh my God, they just told me to tell you this. And then, oh shit, I got to tell that on Patreon. Boom. Right. We'll make a move, So the middle one is $20 a month. The elite one is $40, because I've got certain people that just ask questions and what about this? What about that? Where do I get this coin? How do I switch that over here? And I'll answer some, fairly easy stuff. I'm not going to get too in depth with stupid, just crazy helping you, like hold your hand, but just a little extra if you need my help with something.
Very good. So folks, that's patreon.com/JSNIP4. And of course, you can find all of his incredible YouTube videos here at JSNIP4 his backup channel. He just lost his channel at the same time as me a couple of months ago, rebuilding the community. So please remember to like, share, and subscribe there as well at JSNIP4. Penny, last but not least, words of advice here as we move into these energies for July and perhaps the end of the year. It very much feels and seems that we're moving into new energies. There seems to be a line in the sand right here as we speak. Speak to the audience about how a lot of this is really optimistic and an opportunity for humanity, perhaps one that we have not seen manifest for thousands of years, but it's all about working together through this. Go ahead, Penny.
I think that's really a key thing. So a couple of things that I would say as you move through this next few months, keep your pantry stocked, keep some cash, a little bit of silver, a little bit of gold if you can get some crypto. This is kind of a female thing, but keep some female products around. Things like that, things that are kind of unusual. Even though I'm not much of a drinker, alcohol is a very good trade. People always need that. Sometimes you need that when you've been injured. So, the big thing there is don't expect your grocery store to provide. We're going back to, or I'm going to say forward to, a new form of agriculture. It's a type of agriculture that is really refined indoor growing. Some of the systems that are out there for growing in your kitchen, some of the equipment that you can now buy for your kitchen looks like a big refrigerator, and it's really a microgreens growing unit that has a glass door, and you can watch your greens come up in a couple of days, and it's all temperature and climate controlled. Those kinds of things. So plant a garden, learn how to grow something, herbs, vegetables, fruits, plant some strawberries. There's nothing more delightful than strawberries. So that whole thing around food, do not depend on the grocery store. Start thinking in terms of what can I grow and how do I be self-sufficient. So that's one whole area. The financial thing, just be aware that, just a little story. My daughter was looking to buy a house. Just last week, she found a house. She was talking with the realtor or somebody, the banker, was a mortgage company. Okay, how much do you have down? They said, well, we have this much in the bank and this much in the savings and a little bit in this, in silver and a little bit in gold and some cash in the safe. And they said, we're not dealing with gold. We're not dealing with silver. We won't take those. We won't take crypto and we won't take your cash. And she said, why not? And they said, because we can't prove where you got that cash. We can't prove where you got those. And she said, well, I took the cash out of my account and put it in my safe. And they said, no, sorry, you can't. And you can't put it back in the bank in a chunk, in a lump sum to show you now have the money. She had to put it back. I think it was $2,000 at a time. And she only had $6,000 in the safe, but that was still $2,000 a month. So the house they were looking at would have been long gone. So just be aware that we're already seeing some pretty strong signs that cash is not acceptable because they're claiming it could be terrorist money. So, just be ready to deal with people, one-on-one with people, more so than banking systems and credit unions and all that kind of stuff. So we don't know what we're going to have available to us. Hopefully it'll all be good, but there's going to be some big bumps. So.
And for people, Penny, who are on the path to awakening their consciousness and helping other people, and family, friends, and loved ones do the same, what do you have for them here on patreon.com/Penny Kelly?
Oh, we try to put out all kinds of information about consciousness. That's the main thing. The main theme is, what are you doing with your consciousness? Get ready to move into a new world. The kind of crap that we're experiencing now is the result of the consciousness we've had for the last hundreds or thousands of years. And it's time for a step up. And you can't move into that new world without a different kind of consciousness, because you won't have the trust. You won't have the fun, the sense of humor that you need. You won't understand how reality works. And you're just going to freak out at the most inopportune moments. So there's a lot of emphasis on developing consciousness. Most people in the U.S. are suffering from arrested development. They never mature. Mm-hmm. They just don't mature. And so we try to help that along and repair some of the stages that got messed up. So we have classes. I've got books. I've got a lot of books. I made big progress on the book I'm working on right now. I think it's going to be done here pretty shortly. And then there's a whole editing process and it'll be out there.
If folks are interested in Penny Kelly's books, please do so here at consciousnessonfire.com. And when do you think that book will be ready, the last one, Penny?
I think it'll be ready by the end of August. It usually takes about a month to do the editing and index and all that stuff. But I'm probably more than 3/4 of the way through now.
Okay, very good. And folks, if you want to stay tuned with all of her works, her workshops, please do remember to fill in the newsletter application form here on pennykelly.com. Thank you so much, Penny. Thank you so much, Joe and Dave. I wanted to bring up two last comments before we go.
Dave.
Dave. Did I say Dave? Richard. Where the hell
Richard,
Dave? I
wow,
was
you
thinking Dave
finished.
today because I saw one of those Beetle buses.
The
that
bus,
he liked.
yeah.
I sent him a picture. That's why I have Dave in my head. We should invite him back on the show. Kay is saying, JC, your heart too big and intention too pure to manifest anything but good. Of course, she was responding to my comment about this being perhaps the last show. And Walt said it perfectly. Oh, well, first of all, thank you, Kay. I really appreciate that. Really, from the bottom of my heart. Walt says, last broadcast in this chapter of the book, more chapters to come. In fact, I would like to correct Walt, if I may, gently so. We are not changing chapters. We're not changing pages. We're about to change the book. So this perhaps is the last show in the old book. We're done with that book. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. This was, of course, the Wacky Woo. Please, of course, remember to like, share, and subscribe to all of these amazing people. You can find them in the links below. And also, if you haven't done so already, please come and subscribe here to Jean-Claude at BeyondMystic 3, my third backup channel. I love you guys. A big week ahead of us, including this new series in French where we're doing all of these woo conversations, but in French now, starting on a weekly basis on the Tuesdays. So stay tuned for that. Si vous êtes français, s'il vous plaît, vous joindrez-nous tous les mardis, 21h, heure de l'Est, pour cette conversation incroyable de Franco-Woo. Je m'appelle Jean-Claude BeyondMystic. I love you guys. Have a great evening, and we'll see you soon. Au revoir.
See you guys later.